about the logic and problem solving. Is that is the logic here. We apply certain logic, you know, whenever I see a sequence, whenever I see a pattern, whenever I see a word, and whenever I have to find out its synonym and I have to find out its antonym as well, then I have to apply some, logic. And like, let's say if I do not know the meaning of a word or an antonym or then how will I be able to find out the antonym or synonym of it? Yes, I can still find out. In verbal reasoning, we have certain options. Like in some scenarios, we can still find those questions and we can still find out those answers. And how can that happen? That can happen while we are applying logic and our problem solving skills. So, applying problem solving skills is very important and pivotal as well, right? Then we cover then we cover the ability to discover and apply rules. That we should have this ability. We should be very clear that how can I apply this rule? How can I discover, like, if there's a pattern, there's analogy. You have seen that symbol, and we have questions based on analogy. This is a symbol for analogy, and we have analogy based questions in verbal reasoning. And if that comes, you can do those questions only when you have the ability to discover and apply rules. So that's why ability to discover and apply rules is also very important. And details, if you are not paying attention to the details, I am afraid that we are not able to do a lot of questions in verbal reasoning. So attention to detail is pivotal in all parts of verbal reasoning. So let's go to the next slide. And Miss Emily, do you have any question about this thing? Okay, so you know what? Some students, they have been asking questions to me all this time whenever we start a verbal reasoning session. That means that if it's what is verbal reasoning? Then I say verbal reasoning is something where you apply your logic, apply your reasoning, and to find out the relationship between, like, let's say, some verbal inputs. That can be in the form of language, that can be in the form of a word or a letter as well. But then the kids say, Miss, I'm not sure about it. They still have some numbers in it. Yes, they do have numbers in it. Sometimes what happens, like, let's say a cat is represented by a certain code, and then you have to find out that what, how does that code works. So it still has number in it. But how does that matter? Is it not the part of verbal reasoning now? No, it is. Because here your logic has something to do with the verbal input. It will have something to do with either letters or with alphabets or with words or with symbols which are related to English language. That's why the concept of verbal reasoning has applied here. So let's move to the next
Ma'am,
slide,
I
guys.
have a question. Why
Yes.
do we, why do I think that verbal reasoning is similar as English? Can you please explain what is the difference? I'm confused with this.
Yeah, English will have reading comprehensions in it, and they might ask you a question like, let's say, what was Emily doing in the first paragraph or in line one? That will not be verbal reasoning, my dear. That will be simple English. But whenever I say that, try to find out a word which is similar to that, Emily was growling. And, now when you're finding out a word similar to growling from the passage, that can be a part of verbal reasoning. You know why? Because you are applying your logic now. You're applying some, reasoning here, that this word, what can be growling? Growling can, if a person is happy and if he wants to appreciate that, then we'll be using growling, or in what circumstances we'll be using growling. So this situation, this scenario is different. Here, some sort of logic is applied. That's why it's a part of verbal reasoning. So let me clear it up. What is verbal reasoning in the next slide? Let's take the children to next slide, Miss Emily, and let's find out what is verbal reasoning. Verbal reasoning, as we suggest, it's a cognitive skill. Now, it's like very confusing for children that what is cognitive skill. That is not important, but it is a skill related to our brain and the ability of our understanding. That am I able to understand, first of all, like if I look at a pattern and I look at an equation of letters, if I look at some words, am I intimidated by them, or am I able to understand that, interpret that, and use my logic with the verbal information and get that sorted? Then that becomes verbal reasoning. Okay, guys? So it is used to here evaluate a person's ability to think logically. So if you are able to think logically when you are playing, like let's say a game of soccer or cricket, then you can also apply that same logic. That same person can apply logic in English as well. It is the same. We are talking about this certain level of similarity of skills here. Okay, so here, skills, what is the range of the skills that will be involved? You will have to talk about maybe comprehension. Comprehension is, in simple words, is actually nothing but understanding. So you will have to understand. You should have a good vocabulary, and you should have a robust logic sense. What does that mean? That you should actually, when you look at things, if one of your logic or one of your rule fails, then you are able to identify the other. That is verbal reason. That is what verbal reasoning or any sort of reasoning will be. In non-verbal reasoning, might be talking about spaces. It might be talking about shapes and numbers. So let's take the children to the other slide, guys. So here the several type of questions will be there in the next slide. As we have talked about it multiple times, guys, that we might have synonyms, we might have antonyms, homonyms, and odd ones out. What are those? So synonyms, as you know, that there are different ways of presenting this question. I can simply ask you that what is the synonym of a word, or which word is more synonymous to angry, or I can actually take it to different levels, but the gist of the question remains the same, that you have to identify a synonym, you have to identify an antonym. Now for that matter, you just don't have to remember antonyms and synonyms, but you have to remember homonyms as well. What are homonyms now? So homonyms, as the name suggests, they will be words that have same, they sound alike but have different meanings. Sometimes there'll be a group of words, like let's say rain, cloud, sun, and umbrella. Which word is the odd one out? Can you all text me up in the chat? If it's rain, if I have rain, I have umbrella, I have clouds, I have sun. Which one word is actually odd one out? I do not see any message coming up in the chat. Please be, yeah, sun. Shweta says sun. And what about all other children? What do you think? Is cloud not the odd one out? Okay. Shweta, actually, you're right. So, yes, sun is actually the odd one out. Sometimes you have to identify connection between words or letters as well. Like, let's not forget, if I write A and then I write C and then I write E, you have to find out, identify connection between these letters as well. And you have to tell me, oh, I'm skipping B here, I'm skipping D here, and things like that. So, Emily, I think you stopped sharing your screen. So then we talk about letter A, B, and all here, and that keeps on going. Okay, guys. So let's talk about the other things then. That what am I talking about? Let me just give you one second. So this was the question. Now comes the scenario where I'm talking about. Now when this question has been done, the next thing that arrives, or the next thing that comes in between is, here we talk about certain other scenarios. Like here we talk about this has been done. Now we talk about jumbled words. Sometimes the letters are arranged in a very haphazard manner. Sometimes the letters, sometimes the words. So if the words are arranged in a jumbled manner, you have to put them in an order that they appear in a meaningful sentence. That they, so you have to arrange them so that they look like, or it looks like that you have arranged a meaningful sentence. Now come the jumbled sentences. That is, the sentences are not put in a good way and you like in a correct order, and you have to put them in a correct order, in a coherent way, in a meaningful way, so that they may start making sense, right? Then we talk about finding a missing word. Like if a, I think we are on a slide prior to that, Emily, at 51 seconds. Yeah. So we are at 51 seconds, Emily. Okay, then. So let me still continue and actually explain it to you guys that what kind of questions I was talking about. Emily, we are at 51 seconds. Miss Emily, you there? Yeah. So we have done this part. Like you can move forward. Then here we talk about, we have talked about the next slide. We have done this. Miss Emily, we've done that. Yes. So now we talk about, so all the types of questions has been done. Now let me take you. Then comes the codes and sequences. What are codes and sequences? What happens here? Like some certain codes are given. Let's say I might tell you that the code for cat is 123. Like it's a simple question. Maybe a question as simple as that may not come in the exam, but it is just for a clear reference that, like let's say the code for cat is 123. And then I might ask, and the code for man, okay, and the code for man is, if the code for cat is 123, and now we have to write about the code for man. Now the code for man is 426 and cat was 123. Now tell me what is the code for man? Who all can write that up in the chat box? Like if the code for cat is 123 and the code for man is 426, what will be the code for man? Like it's a very simple question, but this is how, like this is the essence of solving codes and sequences for verbal reasoning, guys. So who all can actually answer this to me? Answer this in the chat box to me. Do we get answers? Yes, I see one coming. 5 to 7. Okay, Sahe says it's 5 to 7. Okay, so Arna and Shweta says it's 4 to 3. Yes, because A and T, it comes like 2 and 3 comes from here, and M4 comes from here. So math is 4 to 3. Yes, guys. So yes, that's true. And now let's try to find out. So logic is something that is persistent in any sort of reasoning, and that's why verbal reasoning is no other exception as well. But here your logic has to apply in a way that you'll be talking about the statement logic, introductions, the number logic, and the letter logics here. Okay, guys. So let's move to the next slide, Miss Emily. So, what are the things that are very much important for your exam purpose? That you should actually practice the most important thing for verbal reasoning. What students do, they give their mums and their fathers or their families, they give them verbal reasoning books, and they do that in, like, let's say one span. Like, they just go do all those questions with the help of some elder in one day only, or in one, like, let's say in some sort of time only, and then they do not repeat it. But verbal reasoning is not that sort of exercise. It's some sort of exercise that has to be done daily. So little but often has to be, there has to be approach that you have to follow. It should be done often, but a little will do good. Because if you're doing it on daily basis, then it's not required that you have to, like, take a lot of dosage of verbal reasoning. But yeah, little and often is the approach that you should always follow for verbal reasoning. Next slide, Miss Emily. Then we'll be talking about that, you have to read for fun. Do not take it as a pressure, like many of you might be in year 4, maybe in year 5, and you have ample of time till next September or October. The exams, they still continue till October. So you have a lot of time. 1 year is there, like, roughly. You people can read for fun. Do not, like, I actually do not like the approach, or I do not appreciate the approach where we actually just take the books, mug up all the words, and never use those words again. But if I am reading a classic novel, I am getting a lot of other things from there. I'm getting some essence of creative writing. I'm also getting some essence of words, new words there, how to use them properly, and things like that. So that's why verbal reasoning also requires reading daily, but diligently. Okay. So let's move to the next slide, Miss Emily. All right, then after we have, like, we've done reading for fun and we have been practicing daily, you can practice certain games and puzzles as well. It does not have to be a proper, exam based pattern thing only. You can practice certain crosswords and Sudoku as well. You can practice other board games as well, which involve numbers, and which involves letters, words, so that your habit of identifying words out of nowhere, or out of the blue, is inculcated or developed in you. Okay, so please play games and puzzles, and that's what I request you guys. So next, let's move to the next slide. Miss Emily again. So here, how can you develop the examination skill? By actually including yourself, by actually joining real face-to-face exam. Like I say, oh, we have face-to-face exam, so I'll request you guys that, before you go to the actual exam, you should have a hands-on and a very regular practice of going to the face-to-face exams and doing those papers there as well. So it helps you. It helps you in the longer run, because first of all, you do not feel nervous when you are in the exam hall, and B, you have the practice, you know what kind of questions come in the exam, and you know how to manage your time. So that's why, and you feel more confident while you're in the exam center. So that's why developing real life exam skills before the exam is very much important. And let me bring your attention to the Sayog methodology. And for that, I would like to welcome our head, Mr. Sanjay Deshwal. Hi, sir. Can we hear something from you now?
Um, Rose ma'am, I'm not sure that is available. No worries, I'll
Okay.
take it ahead.
Okay.
So we have 4 steps over here in terms of completion of the classes that we follow at Sahyog. So as you can see, we've already presented 4 steps here. One is the pre-lecture material, then we have lecture classes, then we have assessments and analysis, and we have feedback and reinforcement. So when we talk about the lecture material, we always provide, the teachers provide notes and a lot of materials that your child can go ahead and practice and have a look at it in terms of what is being taught in class during the class, so that it always gives a hand-in-hand experience on the revision part as well. Right, so that is how it motivates the students to go ahead and read and study those notes at their convenience, which are always available on the dashboard that we will be providing you with. And before the next class, it's like a revision. You go through the notes, you see what has been taught in the last class, and then you are ready for the next class to take the topic ahead. So this is how all the notes for the pre-lecture material is being given to all the students that attend the class and lectures with us. Let's come to the next step. So when it comes to the lecture and classes, all our teachers believe in a very high level of summary of the lectures as mentioned. We have a lot of access to an understanding of the practical examples that the teachers would be sharing during the live class, which would be delivered to the students. Any questions, concerns that the child has, it is been addressed to the student, to the teachers, and the teachers would definitely love to help the students and going ahead and practicing those type of questions ahead in the future classes as well. Apart from that, if you can see, there's already mentioned quiz questions, group discussions. So basically, when you have a group class, there are a lot of curious minds together and different type of questions which any student might come up with. And due to that particular student, your child will also be able to gain some knowledge about that particular questions and the answers that would be discussed during the class. And a quick summary video will be helpful for the lecture revision that would be provided to you on the dashboard as well again. Apart from that, let's come to the third part, that is the assessment and analysis. So a topic test and the worksheets and the tests that will be provided as per the topics that the teachers cover during the class. Also face-to-face online text test, topic unit test would, that is mentioned over there. We will be giving you full mock test as well, in real time experience, in terms to for the students to understand how an actual mock test looks like, or to experience how it is and gain and learn a lot of things from that examinations. Also, the proper analysis of these tests and exams would be done, and we will be discussing about those results on how your child is performing and what needs to be improvised, which is followed in the fourth step, that is the feedback and the reinforcement. Also, for the assessment and the analysis, we give you a proper feedback on the dashboard, that you will be having an analysis about the entire test marks that we mention for your child, wherein you can actually go ahead and view the progress of your child in that particular class or the topic that he's been doing, right? And when I talk about the fourth process, the fourth level, you will be having a PTMs, that is a parent teacher meeting. You will be having a one-on-one session with the teacher, wherein you can discuss the progress of your child and how we can improvise, or are there some things that you need to add on to, or how the tests are going on in class, what's the syllabus that is covered, any particular topics that you would like to discuss. And definitely a very positive feedback would be given to you from the teachers end on what needs to be done next in terms of taking the classes ahead as well. So this is how we follow these four steps, not forgetting that we have something called as doubt clearing sessions as well during the class sessions that we have, in terms of the other subjects that we hold on to. So in the doubt clearing sessions, the teachers will always have a particular certain topics that they can take up to, or the students have any particular doubts that they can take up to. So this is how we will make sure that every student has been given proper attention in the class, and we will always be hand holding the students till they have their actual exams and they achieve their academic goals. So this is how Sayog methodology works. Thank you so much. You can go ahead to the next slide, please.
Miss Emily, Miss Emily, you can go to the next slide. Emily, Miss Emily, you here?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes. Uh, Actually, we would like you to switch on to the next slide.
Yes.
And
So
as
much,
suggest,
Rose. ma'am.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
as
Yeah.
okay, and as suggested by Miss Valencia, that the slide is not visible though, but it also that we cover not only from just we actually cover from year 3 to year 13 all the slave classes. So key stage 2, key stage 3, and key stage 2, 3, and GCSEs. All levels are covered here at SEO, and we make sure that we are able to provide different and quality products to not just AQA, IDEXL, and OCR, like to also all board students. So, shall we begin with the slide, Ms. Emily? So now I'll hand it over to you guys, and now here, Miss Emily will take us to the next round where we'll be having certain fun exercises that are based on only verbal reasoning. And a lot of chit chat is not liked by any student, and we know that, and we are very sorry for that. That this, uh, you know. But now we'll have some fun question for you, but a lot of enthusiasm and participation is required from you all guys. From the end of yours from your end. So, guys, I'll ask you to kind of drop a message, like whatever. If you have any answer in your mind, you can drop the message in the chat box, and I and Miss Emily can take we can role play as student and teacher, so that most of your doubts are completed before the Q&A round. So, Miss Emily, let's start. Do you have any instructions for this particular question that we have here on the screen?
Yes, ma'am. So Greg decided that omelets were easier to cook than scrambled eggs. All right, so I have to make a word, right?
Yes.
I think. Do you think Tom can be made? That's a name.
Miss Emily, I think you are missing out on some instructions. Please don't forget,
Okay.
kids. I cannot make a word out of three letters. Impossible. That
Right.
will not matter. Like even if it's a meaningful word, that will not matter because the question that we have in verbal reasoning for 11 plus exam, it clearly says that I will have to take a word which is a four letters to be very precise,
Right.
and along with that I have to make sure that I'm not jumping like this. Like some students, what they do, like they may take the EG from Greg, and then they may take the, like, let's say what can we make, like
Okay. Thank you
um,
so much, Rose ma'am,
yeah,
to explain. Can we expect any answers from the children here? Do you see any answers in the chat box, Rose ma'am?
no ma'am, not yet. But now students should be able to find out a meaningful word out of these words. But you have to
I,
apply a, like, do a hit and try sort of thing.
I
let's
think I
let's
got
do
it,
one
Rose
thing.
ma'am.
I have not got it, so I will do one thing. I'll take letters from EG from here and DE from here. And EGDE is not a word. Like, had it been
Edge. Okay.
EGG,
But I got it. I think I got one, Rose
but this
ma'am.
is not there in the question. So the kids have to find out. Has anyone got the answer? Please run run your eyes also throughout the whole sentence and try to find out a meaningful word, two letters from, like, let's say a preceding word, and two letters from the word, like from the beginning of the word that is successing it. Can you find out? I can also find it out, the word. And no response yet. I think
No,
we
I
should.
don't see any. Is it that hard?
No, it's not
I
that
can see
hard.
one word, but I'm not sure if it is correct, Rose ma'am.
Miss Emily, let me do one thing. Let us explain this thing to the students for the very first time and let them follow through
Correct.
afterwards in the next example. So here you
Right.
see,
I think that
when I
works.
see that, AT from here and OM from here, that is a word called atom. Have you all not heard of
Right.
atom?
That's correct, Rose ma'am. That's so smart of you.
Right? Thank you so much. But yes, have you all not heard of atom? Atom is a meaningful word, and that is the only combination that can be made. Can you think of any such word in this next combination of question two? Millie and Kristen enjoyed their time at the park. Do you find any meaningful word here, Miss Emily? You spotted it? Have you spotted the word? I have not. I have not found the word yet. Have you?
No, ma'am Rose, I can't. I'm just searching for
And
it.
I
I think we got enough. Oh,
oh,
Arna
I got it,
has
I got it, I
answered.
got it. Anna has
It's
answered it. And
neat. Sahir too.
yes.
Good
So
job,
Anna,
children. Ritik as well.
so you see the kids are smart. What they need is a bit of hand holding while they're doing
Correct.
all these questions. And then that can be done. So let's talk
Wow.
about question three. Let's take you all to
Three.
question three, where we talk about this word is a biology word. I know it, and I want to like find out that who all know these words. This is a biology word. I want it. I know it, and I want to say it.
I
A
think we're getting
homeworm.
answers. We
Oh
got
yeah,
it. We
I
got it
mean,
from Ritik
oh yeah. Hey, Ritik has given us the answer,
and Arna
and so
as
is
well.
Arnam. Yes, that's a win. Oh, it's a biology word. You know, kids are smarter. They know.
Good job.
Yeah. So let's take you guys to question four. No matter how hard they tried, they could not finish the relay race. Any suggestions here?
I
Have you
think
found the word? I have not.
me too.
But you know what, Miss Emily, what I do, I actually follow a strategy. I do not just jump on
Oh,
to the word. I actually follow a sequence. I follow through a sequence. I look at first of all no and matter, and then try to find out if there's a
oh,
possible meaningful
okay.
word over here.
I think
I think
children have
someone has
found
given the
out.
answer. Yes.
Yeah, they're saying here.
Yeah. And
Can we
here's,
use here, Rose ma'am?
yes. Have you
We
found
can.
out the
Go.
word? Yes.
Yes, they
We
are.
have the word.
Wow.
So now let's talk about question five. Heidi, she sharpened all of the pencils during the morning break. Oh my god. Heidi question has a lot of answers and it is coming before we
Yes.
read the question as well. Yes, it's Dish. I find the word meaningful. So let's talk about questions. Oh my god, Shweta and Anna and everyone's answering. So let's find out.
Very good.
Okay.
Dish.
Yes, guys. And now let's focus on the next part. Despite a full wardrobe, Naima had nothing to wear for the wedding. Okay, despite a full wardrobe, I don't see a word. A full wardrobe. Naima had nothing to wear for the wedding. Oh my god, someone has answered.
It's
Is
already
it true?
started getting answers.
And do you think it's
It's
the
fort.
right
Ritik
answer?
says it's fort.
And do you think it's the right answer, Miss Emily?
Yes, that is the right answer.
Yeah. And that is it. So we can actually take the combination of 3 and 1 as well. Not just 2, 2, but
Right.
3 and 1 will also work.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's go to question 7. It was
Seven.
so hot. So Granny bought everyone a lolly. What is it? Oh my god. I have the answer again.
You're really quick, Miss Rose. I haven't
No,
found it out yet.
the kids have also found it out. Ritik has found it out.
Yes, I can see that. I already have 4 answers. Asya, Ritik, Shweta, and Sahir.
Yes.
Wow.
And let me see. Where have they found the word wash? Yeah. Okay, wash for,
Short.
yeah, wash and short. So it's a confusion and wash and short. Which word would you pick if you were me? Wash or short?
I think it should be what I found out could be, I think short.
Yeah, or wash. Like the combination
Wash.
says that. And you know what? It was told to me like years ago. Like if this
Mhm.
scenario happens, then what you should do? follow the first answer. I'll take posh.
Okay. You mean the first word that comes in the
Yeah,
sentence?
the first answer, the first possible answer,
Oh,
take it.
okay.
Like it was for different purpose, but since then I just follow that. So wash is okay.
All
So
right.
now Henry understood, but short is not wrong as well. So it depends on the options now, Miss Emily. So like let's say,
Okay.
what if there's no wash in the option? The kids will definitely choose short. And what if there's no short in the option? You have to choose wash. So let's do question 8 now.
Kids have
Henry
sent
understood the.
one more, Miss Rose. They have
I
sent
think it's
other option as well. They say heel and soft.
I think it's for the next question. But yeah, it's for the next question, Miss Emily. They're faster. They're not listening to us. They are actually focusing on the question. So Henry understood the elements of test and felt confident. And the kids say it's heel. I can see the heel here, but do you see like what the other word is soft? No, I don't see a soft. Do you see a soft?
Mm.
No, soft does not follow. But yeah, heel does. Thank you for that
But
answer.
Shweta said it's heel.
Yeah, heel is true.
Ritik
Like,
and Sahir said heel as well.
yes, I've got many answers for heel, so we are taking a. We don't find soft here. So
Oh,
let's
yeah.
move to the next question, and I hope we have enjoyed it. We had a lot of questions, okay, but you were not participating a lot. That's why we'll have to skip the questions now. So
Okay.
can we? So now elements. Ashia, she wants to say something. So I will now open this forum for the question and answer round. So you guys, do you have any question and answers? Let's move to the question and answer slide, Miss Emily. And
Sure.
but while we are doing that, please give them a tour of the question that we had prepared for them, and they missed out just because they were lazy to participate.
Right.
Yeah,
So
so we
shall
had a
we?
lot of. Yes, miss. Yes, totally. We could do that. So, moving to the next slide, guys.
There we go.
Okay. Soft is in the elements, Asia said, but Asia, what if the instruction are just to make a meaningful word out of two words? And for soft, I have to take elements of the. Now, three words are here taken, and that makes soft. So first of all, try to make find out a simpler word. You don't have to go into that complexity. And here we welcome all the questions that you have for anyone out of out of all the people that we have from Sayog. We are happy to answer your question. Does a student, any parent has any question? Please take out your time to answer those questions.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Roseman. Thank you, Emily. It was a great interactive webinar. Hope parents and children both enjoyed. If you're watching, parents, and forum is now open. If you have any questions regarding verbal reasoning or any of the help you may need in days to come, weeks to come, any idea, suggestion you want us to run a webinar on, we'll be very happy to accommodate. And if you have any question around our courses or classes or topic test or mock test, anything, please feel free to ask now. Okay, if you have no questions, that's fine. If you have questions in your mind, you want to send us email, you can at academy@sahyog.co.uk or info@sahyog.co.uk, or you can call us. Our numbers and contact details are available on our website. Right, still you have time. If you want to chat your questions, you can in the chat box, or you can ask. All right, no problem. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for joining this evening. You all have a very good evening. See you next time. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Rose.
A very good evening to
Thank you,
everyone.
sir.
Thanks,
Thank
thanks
you.
for
Thank you.
Thank
making
you,
us a part
Rosemary.
of this webinar. Bye bye. See ya. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye bye.
everyone.
See you,
Bye-bye.
kids. Bye.